What is up, everyone? It's Cannan, back with another video, and in this one I am talking about Bloodborne, one of my all-time favorite games that From Software has made. Probably one of my all-time favorite games of all time, because I am a huge From Software fan, but I am also a huge H.P. Lovecraft fan. I love Lovecraftian lore and cosmic horror and all that. I think it's some of the best storytelling you can find, and I've always wondered why there's never been a sequel to Bloodborne, because not only was it a really great game, but it was a very successful new IP for Sony. Like, it sold so well that for the longest time, it was one of the top 5 best-selling Sony exclusives there was. I mean, it may still be on that list. It may have been pushed down by newer games like God of War and all that, but it's just... It seems like it was just a waste. Why not make a sequel to that? Because it was just so well done. And ever since the PS5 launched, there's been a lot of rumors between a PS5 upgrade, a remaster, a PC port, and with Elden Ring getting a new trailer, getting a release date, us seeing gameplay, that has reignited the Bloodborne rumor train. And it's all gotten very interesting with this new claim of something called Velvet Veil, which many are now saying is a spiritual successor to Bloodborne, which would mean it's pretty much what Dark Souls was for Demon Souls, because Dark Souls is a spiritual successor. Now, I'm not going to lie, this may be a little bit of a lengthy video, because this is kind of a deep dive. This is a little bit of a rabbit hole, because it all stems from 4chan, and we all know how deep 4chan can get sometimes. Even though 4chan is not as popular as it used to be, it's still a bit of a trek to go through. Now, of course, this is on Reddit, but this all stems from a 4chan post. So without further ado, we got this to read. There's plus an article that came out the very day I'm recording this that I want to touch upon as well. So let's get into it. So it says right here, 4chan thread claims From Software's next project, that's not Elden Ring, is called Velvet Veil and is a spiritual successor to Bloodborne and is exclusive to PS5. Someone on the thread also shares Reddit DMs that mention Elden Ring, Sekiro, and Deracine. I've never known how to pronounce that name before they were announced in order to support this claim. All right, so the 4chan post is pretty much this right here, which I'll get to here. Well, I'll go ahead and read this so we can know where this is coming from. So this is from 4chan. This is what started all this. From Software and Sony have agreed to make a PlayStation exclusive game in mid to late 2017, and development for it began in 2018 and picked up pace in early 2019. The game's codename, which a lot of From Software games have codenames, is Velvet Veil. From what I understand, the game is not directly a sequel or prequel to Bloodborne, but a spiritual successor. Now, all I'll say on this is whether this turns out to be true or not, I don't really care anymore if it's Bloodborne or not. I just want another Lovecraftian Souls game. Tell you the truth, that's all I want. Sony will show the game after Elden Ring gets released in January 2022. It will most likely be shown around summer 2022, and with a predicted release date of around February to March 2023. It will release solely on the PS5, and I do not know if this game will release later on PC. The original plan was to show it in 2021, however, because of the pandemic, From Software's entire schedule basically got delayed by 1 year. Now, this would kind of make sense on why it took so long for us to see a new Elden Ring trailer. The game will also look significantly different from Software's game on the last generation. The leaping graphics can be compared to the difference between Dark Souls 2, I'm guessing they mean the PS3 and 360 version, and Bloodborne. Because let's face it, Dark Souls 2 on PS4 and Xbox One did look a good bit better. Also, I have no idea about what is going on with the new Armored Core before anyone asks. Now, as far as there being a new Armored Core, I could have sworn that got proven to be fake, but I've seen interviews where Miyazaki brings it up, so unless it got canceled, I'm not sure. It might come out before this Sony exclusive or after it, but it is in the works regardless, and I also do not know if there's a plan for a patch for Bloodborne or if it'll come to PC. All right, so that's where all this started. So originally, a lot of people thought it was a poster that got a lot of leaks about Sekiro, Elden Ring, and this Duracine game before they even got announced. But as we can see right here, he would reply to this saying, "Hey, I just felt the need to clarify some information. I'm the one who posted the Reddit conversation that's being attributed to Velvet Veil. However, I did not leak any information regarding a Velvet Veil title on 4chan. That's someone completely different. The only posts I made have been my two on Great Rune, which was the code name for Elden Ring, and Elden Ring with the same title for both. I'm not saying Velvet Veil is not real. I'm simply saying that I have no information regarding it, and I've only made the two posts regarding it." Now, where did this guy come from? It's pretty much right here. As the creator of the Reddit for Great Rune, which, like I said, was the keyword for Elden Ring, in honor of today's news, which was when the trailer came out, I believe, I have decided to share my Elden Ring leaks dating back to 5 years ago. Are you ready for a potential Elden Ring trilogy? And the whole thing is an MGOR file. And really, as far as Velvet Veil goes, there's not much here for it. But what I was amazed at is a lot of people are claiming the one that has leaked Velvet Veil, I believe, is this same person that was leaking all this information. Now, do we know that for sure? And could I be interpreting it wrong? Yes. So in this, we see that he knew about the Dark Souls 1 remaster, and big news regarding the sequel is who is writing it. Big name, man. Instead of doing what people want to do, he is making the next Souls, which would, we'll get to here in a minute. They go on a lot of stuff, like they talk about the Dark Souls 3 DLC and all that, because you gotta remember, Elden Ring did not start development until after the last DLC for Dark Souls 3. But yeah, he lives here. The DLC for Dark Souls 3 has the painted world of, because he's talking about like a snowy mountain, and that Miyazaki really liked the painted world of Aramis. But there's a Dark Souls 1 remaster on the way. There's another new Dark Souls game being worked on right now. That's him asking the leaker questions. To which number one, no, it is a snow world like Aramis, big map, mid boss, mega boss, new armors, weapons. And now to the second question, there is a Dark Souls 1 remaster. They answer yes. And then 3, there's another new Dark Souls game being worked on, and they said it is not Dark Souls. It's a new Souls-like game. Prototype will be running within July. Open world. You ride a horse in a soul game. F yeah, it is a pleasure to share insider info. So guys, remember, this is 5 years ago. This is way before Elden Ring was announced. So this guy or girl knew that it would be open world. You'd have a horse. They knew about the Dark Souls remaster. So it gets interesting as we go. Apparently the code name for Sekiro was Tenchu, because they mention it. The other game, this is where we first get word about an Armored Core game and a reboot, Tenchu, which turned out to be Sekiro. So we go on. They mentioned Dark Souls Remaster release was pushed toward the next summer, since they want to push 3 DLC. Not there would be 3 DLCs, but it's talking about the Dark Souls 3 DLC. From is still working on everything, but there is a title now. I don't think it will be the last one, and it will probably change any moment. But anyway, Great Rune. Get the subreddit just in case. Claim that subreddit name, man, before this gets out. So here's where some big stuff comes in. As you saw, there was nothing announced at the E3. They are late on everything. Tenchu, aka Sekiro, will be the next in line for sure. Regarding Sony, they just closed a contract to make a prototype of a new title. Could be Bloodborne 2, but I don't know. Dark Souls Remake kind of disappeared. I think he means the remaster. While I heard about a VR title, kind of interactive experience, which would have been Daracene. Anyway, Great Rune is the big deal, but they are behind. There is a story, though. Did I tell you that there is a huge novelist behind it? And they reply, you haven't told me about the novelist. I'm always happy to listen. And they say, it's George fucking Martin, man. That's where he spends his time instead of finishing Game of Thrones. So if you're a Game of Thrones fan and you're mad at George R. Martin for not continuing the book just because he's been busy on Elden Ring, oh boy, From Software's going to get some hate for that. So it's finally happening. It will be presented at Microsoft conference at E3, which we know did not happen. Because I think Elden Ring was showed at the Game Awards. So, you know, great that Martin Miyazaki game. Maybe the new name is changed, though. So we get down to here. It's a little small. But pretty much it's saying that apparently, according to this, Elden Ring wasn't originally meant to be a Souls-like title. So that plus COVID would kind of explain all the delays that Elden Ring had. But that's one little tidbit that I'm like, I'm not sure about that. Because the moment it was shown was like, okay, this is definitely going to be like a Souls-like game. So we don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. We don't need this anymore. All right. So as this goes on, though, it gets a little bit more. This person is pretty much giving an overview of what we just read. Okay. So I have just talked with UE, and they have told me that their source in the DMs has not clarified whether the collaboration between Sony and From Software is Daracene or something else, because they're talking about how maybe Daracene was what they were talking about all along. But then again, they say it's two different things, though, and they touch upon that later in this. Now, at first, I did not know where these DMs originated, but now I know the DMs were shared by UE0, the creator of the Reddit for Great Rune, which was created around 2 years before anyone even knew about Elden Ring. For those who don't know, Great Rune was the code name for Elden Ring, and this information was not known to the general public before May 2019. This user also is the moderator of Demon Souls Reddit, Dark Souls Reddit, Dark Souls 2 Reddit, Bloodborne Reddit. Recently, he made this post showing the DMs between them and the leaker. Now, if these screenshots are not altered, and I am not claiming they are or throwing any shade at this person, but whoever this leaker is, they knew about what From Software was working on without a single error. And that's pretty much true. I mean, that they got everything right in those leaks. So that's something to say about. And someone on the thread, I do not know if it was the OP or not, shared these DMs there, and given the dates and titles that were mentioned, everyone took this as an objective confirmation of this supposed project because of this line that I think was posted around June 2017. And it said, as you saw, there was nothing announced at E3, which we covered this. They are late on everything, blah, blah, blah. Regarding Sony, they just closed a contract to make a prototype of a new title. Could be Bloodborne 2, but I do not know. So what they were getting out a minute ago is that, you know, maybe the prototype game between From Software and Sony was Daracene, but they talk about two different projects here that they're guessing is Bloodborne 2, and then a VR experience, which turned out to be Daracene. So that is interesting how it's two separate things. Now, I'm sure someone who's not paying attention will say, well, could it have been the Demon Souls remake? Remember, From Software didn't make the Demon Souls remake. Bluepoint did. So, at first, I don't know what this post was supposed to really be doing. I think what they're trying to say is the leaks for Velvet Veil is coming from the same leaker that all this right here came from this 4chan post, but there's no evidence to show it's the same person. So we're getting a little bit conspiracy theory here. So, but that has not stopped the rumors, because a few days ago, Bloodborne Remaster rumored to be revealed at upcoming PlayStation event. A new rumor has emerged indicating that PlayStation may announce a new remastered iteration of the beloved PS4 action game Bloodborne at a future event. Although this isn't the first time we have heard rumors of this sort, yeah, no kidding, the fact that they've started to emerge once again is getting fans hopeful. The rumor of this new remaster of Bloodborne stems from Tim Rogers, who is a content creator and former game developer. In recent weeks, Rogers said on social media that Bloodborne would receive a new PS5 version at some point in the future. Now, this guy does not give any kind of like evidence or anything. I think it's really pretty much they're going to eventually. Like, there's no question about it. They would be nuts not to, you know? But pretty much this article is just going off the fact that he's got inside, he could have inside information just because he used to be in the gaming industry, but that's a stretch. I don't really trust comic book that very well, but let's see what else they say. In recent days, Rogers has gone on to double down on this notion and suggested that a Bloodborne remaster might be revealed at a future PlayStation event. He has also gone on to say, however, that he was just guessing. So he starts this whole whirlwind, and then when it picks up steam, he says he was just guessing. Sounds like a troll to me about whether such a remaster might be coming about. Still, this doesn't dissuade many to question him about the situation, thinking he might be privy to something that others are not. It is also worth noting that Rogers also encouraged all of his followers to not play Bloodborne if they have never done so before, because he feels like a 60 frames per second remaster of the game is imminently due. Now, I personally feel that way as well. As a fan of Bloodborne, I think it's a matter of time. But as mentioned previously, fans have specifically been clamoring for an upgraded version of Bloodborne in any capacity for quite some time, even though many PS4 games have slowly been getting improved on PS5. Thanks to how Bloodborne was created, the title is permanently locked at 30 frames per second. I still want to know why they did that, because even on the PS5 with the boosted mode, it's starting to show its age a little bit. As such, hope for an all-new remaster, or at very least a PS5 upgrade, is something that continues to be talked about quite a bit amongst PlayStation fans. Whether or not Bloodborne Remaster ends up coming out remains to be seen, but considering how many rumors have been heard about this over the past year, it definitely seems to be possible. If such an announcement does come to fruition, we'll be sure to let you know. Then they go over, oh, would you like to see a Bloodborne remaster? Well, no, I'm just reading this for the heck of it. All right, and so that now brings me to this. This came out today. This came out very well today. I shared it on my Twitter account, and I decided to include it in this video. The one thing I can't stand about this article is they have a little bit of misinformation in it, and plus, they like really go out of their way to be like, hey, this is just a rumor. Take it with a grain of salt. Like, you only have to say it once. You know, just once say, hey, this is all hearsay. This is a rumor right now. Don't get your hopes up. But rumors are kind of a fun way to get a little excited, you know, because 9 times out of 10, a lot of times these leaks and these rumors turn out to be true. So here we go. Final Fantasy Origin leaker says an ambitious Bloodborne remaster is releasing on PS5 later this year. The leaker behind Stranger of Paradise Final Fantasy Origin, and I did see these leaks when they first came out, and then yeah, he was pretty on point, has come out and said that a Bloodborne remaster is on the way later this year and called the project ambitious. Souls Hunt, the person at question, correctly leaked a number of details about Final Fantasy Origin before they were corroborated by journalists, which gives them some credibility. Back on this remaster, apparently it isn't being developed by Bluepoint or From Software, which would sometimes make sense because From Software is still making Elden Ring, but I'm sure From Software is not any strangers to working on more than one project at a time, which is a little surprising. However, a leak last year suggested that QLOC were working on the remaster with Bluepoint, so it might just be QLOC developing it, in reality with Bluepoint not involved or offering advice to the team. Either way, right now, this is just a rumor and should be taken as such. Well, yeah. So, as there is no evidence suggesting we will see a Bloodborne remaster, but yet you took the time to write the article. It would be foolish of Sony not to eventually release one though, as fans are clamoring for it. Although, as Souls Hunt says, don't go expecting a sequel, with From Software preferring to focus on new IPs. Soul Hunt is wrong on that. Because... well, technically he's kind of wrong, because From Software has said that they would like to focus on new IPs, but Miyazaki has said on record that a Bloodborne sequel is up to Sony. If Sony eventually wants a sequel to Bloodborne, they have to make it. Because Bloodborne is specifically a Sony property. It can't be made by anyone else, and it can't be put anywhere else. Unless Sony gives the okay, which is why people are hoping for a PC port. But it's the same way with Bandai. From Software owns the IP for Dark Souls, but Bandai is the publisher, so neither can do a Dark Souls game without the other. Now, of course, Bandai can make their own games like Code Vein and all that. But yeah, the whole From Software preferring to focus on new IPs is technically true, but it's also technically not true, as if Sony wants a Bloodborne sequel, From Software will have to make it. So yeah, I still don't get... This is just a rumor, so it should be taken as such, yet you went through the trouble of making an article about it. Seems kind of counterproductive there. PlayStation, I think it's Universe. I'm not sure. I don't really frequent this site a whole lot. But, yeah, so that's what's going on. Like, it's hard to say. It really is. I wish I had some inside information or something like that. But I think a Bloodborne remaster will happen. I think that's a little bit more possible than this whole Velvet Veil thing. I hope it's true. I would love a spiritual successor, but we'll just have to see. We'll have to see if the leaks are true about it being announced in the summer of next year. And it says this remaster will release later this year. So between now and December, that doesn't seem like a whole lot of time to release a remaster of a game that is very well sought after, but we'll see. Well, but then again, they've announced remasters here recently, like God of War recently got one, Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order recently got one. So I mean, they could announce it in November and it'd be out by December. But yeah, eyes will definitely be on what's going to be happening in the summer. I mean, that would be around E3 time, so could they announce this Velvet Veil at E3 next year? Yeah, they possibly could, but we'll just have to see. I'll keep an eye on it. If there's anything that usually comes out about it, I'll do a video on it. But yeah, that's all I've got for you guys for this one. As always, guys, if you enjoy our content, please hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell, click that like button, leave me a comment, let me know what you think is going to happen. Do you think a spiritual successor will happen, or do you think it'll just be a remaster, or do you think it'll happen at all? As always, guys, this is Cannan. Me and Jess love you all very, very much. Stay safe out there, take care of yourselves, and I will see you in the next one. See ya.